All right, and welcome back to the Smiling Rainbow Unicorn of Doom. What's up, everybody? It's been about 2 weeks since our last show. But first, if you're new to the show, this is the Smiling Rainbow Unicorn of Doom. I'm Thomas.
I'm Joe.
I'm Marquez.
And we're a little bit of a different setup today, so if people sound sort of weird, it's because we had a bit of an accident in the XLR, Lander University Radio Studio today. Joe just had a little too much to drink. Too much water is what I meant to say. And he peed everywhere, and now one of the mics is broken.
I think
so. Thanks, Joe.
I think I'm intimidated because I sound pretty much the same as I usually do because I'm so loud that I usually look away from the mic anyways.
Yeah. So basically, Marquez and Joe are sharing a mic today. But today we wanted to just sort of hang out. We didn't really have anything super special planned. What did we talk about last time?
Last time
was it the first kiss one? The first kiss
we
stories?
did the kiss one. Or was it?
Oh, was it the trivia? I don't know.
No, I think the kiss one. No, the kiss one was the most recent one.
Okay, so basically, we've had a few episodes. I think we've had 4 episodes. This is our 5th episode back in the XLR studio. The first, basically, if you're new to the show, the only thing we don't really have a set theme every single week. It's a show called the Smiling Rainbow Unicorn of Doom. We don't exactly have a topic we don't have a topic. Sometimes we just sort of make stuff up, like we're sort of gonna do this time. But we just wanted to relax, no pressure. This is a place where you can cuddle up with your loved one, or if you're single like me, and just cuddle up with yourself, and just sort of relax and get a hot chocolate, even though it's like 85 outside, and just sit by the fire and just listen to my sweet, soothing voice.
I like that you said no pressure, like as if the audience had pressure before. Like no pressure applies to us. We don't have pressure.
We do not have pressure. This is very much a high pressure situation for you guys, but we're vibing in here. Like you guys better be on your best behavior. I'm watching. I'm listening. I'm seeing. I'm hearing. I'm smelling. I don't know. Okay, but okay.
New 4D interactive radio show with smell-o-vision.
What would it smell like in here? Like what would
like water right now?
Like water damage and just and just sadness. I'll leave the room and then it'll just smell like water damage.
And Marquez will leave the room and it won't smell like anything.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
You smell like water damage, Marquez.
Okay. So we wanted to address something a little quickly. There are shows that have talked about this and will continue to talk about this more in depth, but we did just want to express our, I guess, condolences and our whatever. I don't know. I'm bad at this.
You want me to do it?
Sure.
Sorry, briefly. What other shows have talked about it?
Okay, well, we'll get into... Okay, so basically...
Okay, well, sorry.
So basically, if you didn't know, one of the XLR DJs, our roommate, our friend who's been on this show before, Jackson Wise, recently passed away. And we just wanted to give a shout-out and at least for me, an open invitation to talk about this. This is something that isn't normal and doesn't happen often, and hopefully in an ideal world this would never have had to happen, I guess, but it's just something that I at least I feel like for me, since we're like roommates, everyone feels sort of intimidated, like how they feel is invalidated because they don't feel as much as we may feel, I guess, which is just unfair. Everything you're feeling right now is valid, and I want invitation to me. I'm not a therapist. I'm even not really a good human being, but if you want to talk to me, you can. I'd recommend the LU Wellness Center. The appointments are free. I don't have the phone number offhand, but you can look it up at the LU Wellness Center. It's always good to talk about anything, even if you feel like your feelings aren't valid. They are, and they should and can be talked about. I don't really have too much to say about that, but if you want a more in-depth, more serious talk on stuff like this, Love Affair with Life, every Thursday at 9 o'clock, talks about this pretty in-depth. Tupac, every Tuesday at 9, talks about this pretty in-depth. And Queerly Yours, which I believe was the show before ours, every Wednesday at 2, talks about stuff like this more in-depth. Is there anything else you'd like to say on this, guys? Is there anything I said wrong? Like,
No.
I just like is there anything else you'd like to say about this, guys? Like, I don't know. The inflection on that was just funny to me. No, I mean, I resonate his feelings. If anyone wants to talk to me about it, I'm perfectly open and capable of, talking to anyone about it. And and Thomas is just going to ruin everything that I was trying to say.
I just muted myself, and nobody would have known.
No, you could definitely hear it. No, yeah, you're loud.
Oh,
you're
you're
whooping.
Sorry.
That's coming through in our microphone.
I know, I'm trying.
He's dying in the
Go
background.
get
Don't
some
worry
water.
about it.
I'll just soothe him, you know.
Yeah, just go look up the water damage.
You want to have some Joe talk?
Oh shoot, Joe talk.
All right, it's Joe talk.
No,
Oh.
no. It's probably.
You just told me to go get some water.
I being erotic.
Okay, so in more of a lighter, sort of an offshoot of this, but more of a lighter topic, we wanted to, or at least I was listening to a podcast. It's my favorite podcast. It's called Neebs Cast, Neebs Cast, and they just talk about whatever. Especially a few years ago.
Oh my god.
Okay. We may need to cut to some Joe talk in a minute, but I'm going to do that. But we are just basically going to talk about, they did a podcast basically talking about, it's a funny thing, but 13 tips to live a happier life. And we are just going to discuss those, see what we agree with, what we disagree with, have any input. But now, Joe talk.
All right. I'm improving. I'm riffing. I could talk. Am I allowed to talk about the thing, the scammer thing, or am I supposed to wait for that?
Oh, go for it.
Okay. So, I have a pastime. And it's not a pastime I get to explore very frequently. But if I get messaged by someone I believe to be a scammer, oftentimes they're a bot. So don't try this at home, but I love to screw with them. And I like to screw with them for as long as possible. Because, see, in my mind, they have a goal. They want some information. They want some whatever from me. So if I don't give them that, and I'm having fun screwing with them, I'm winning. And I did this for upwards of 2 hours last night. Thomas is back. Should I keep going?
Oh, go for it.
Okay. So, the first step to this guide of messing with scammers is to weed out if they're a bot or not. Because if they're a bot, you can't have that much fun, right? Because they're gonna have limited response. So you got to figure out if they're a bot or not. Usually, the way to do this is try to ask them. Don't just ask them if they're a bot, because most bots have it programmed in to say like, "Oh, I'm not a bot. I'm a real person." You got to give them some kind of question or something to respond to that a bot wouldn't have programmed in. So I like to ask them to send me a picture of a cactus. And even if they don't actually send me a picture of a cactus, depending on what kind of response they give, I can usually figure out if they're a bot or not, right? Then, the goal at this point is to get them ever so slightly closer to them getting whatever they want, but without actually giving it to them. So, like, if they say, oh, like, I want your email, or I want, like, a picture, or something like that. The person that talked to me last night wanted me to appear on, like, some kind of video camera, which is a very bizarre scamming thing. I don't know what they were going for. But the goal is, I'm saying, like, hey, if you can, like, show up on camera and, like, wave at me, or if you can, like, keep giving them stupid rules and things they have to complete before you do what they want you to do. Because they'll either get frustrated, and then you can be like, hey, come on, you don't need to be angry, I'm trying to help you here. Or they'll actually do it, and it's hilarious. So, I guess I made this person really angry because I was, like I said, I was leading them on for like an hour and a half. And then, I don't speak super good French. I took French 2 in high school. I got a decent bit up, so I understand the grammar decently well. But they started just saying random things in French, and I'm pretty sure they were calling my dad a baby. Which maybe is some kind of, like, French insult, or, like, maybe some kind of common vernacular I don't get in France, but... And then they stopped talking to me for a while. They did message me again this morning.
Really?
They're very persistent. Nothing really funny came out of it, but I was just shocked with how persistent they are.
Well, you did actually video call them.
Yes, so this is the part that you should not try at home, because video calling them, because that was the closest I ever got to giving them what they wanted.
You were using a fake everything.
Yes.
It was okay.
I had a spam email. It was like the Google messaging app or whatever, and I had a spam thing that I use specifically for screwing with scammers. It's not connected to anything else. There's no important information. So they really wanted to video chat with me and show my face on camera. Like I said, I don't know what they wanted out of that. And every time they did, they had like some 10-second loop of some chick on a camera, and then they would immediately turn it off. It was the same loop every single time. But so what I did was I turned on the camera and I aimed at the ceiling, so that they never saw anything of me. They may saw like a little bit of my hair, a corner of my hair. But I just went and waved at the camera, and then I ended the video call and texted me, and they were like, "Are you serious? Like, this is not what I asked for." I'm like, I showed myself on camera. What do you mean? They were really angry. But I had a good time. And if any of you are following me, you may have gotten a message from the spam bot. Just ignore them.
Yeah.
Unless you want to mess with them.
This is what, Olivia DeMorello or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I got it too, and that's why I walked in, because it said, "Oh, they're following this person." And I was like, okay, so I walked in. Joe, who's this person? Is it someone from your high school? Oh no, come look at this. Like, so, all right, that was a good Joe talk. So now
Very good, Joe.
we're gonna listen to a song from Joe's favorite band,
You're going to keep doing this.
and then we're gonna get into 13 tips to live a happier life. We'll see you guys in a minute. All right, welcome back to the Smiling Rainbow Unicorn of Doom. Right before we were ending off, and that was actually unironically Joe's favorite band.
Yes, I thought he was going to play Weezer.
Yeah, typically I say that and then play Weezer because he does not like Weezer. But we actually played a Weezer song at the beginning. We played a Christmas song. But, I should have played a Halloween song because we're going to be back before Halloween, but like, barely. We actually do have that song, so I might play that next.
The normal version or like the
Marilyn Manson version.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think. Yeah. So I watched this podcast, Neebscast, and they were talking about 13 tips to live a happier life. Step 1, buy a bunch of drugs. No. So step 1, be a minimalist. So basically their idea was like, at least for me, I always feel so good when I go into my room. I'm like, all right, I'm going to throw away a lot of clothes I don't use, or give away a lot of clothes I don't use. I'm going to throw away stuff, clean up, like that kind of thing. Does that, like, do you guys feel better when you do that, or like?
I do like minimalism in general. I do like cleaning stuff out. I like getting rid of a lot of stuff. I like having things be empty but kind of feel full. You know, I like having a lot of decorations but not having an actual lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just because I like the vibrancy and I like the variety of things.
Right.
I don't necessarily know because I guess my grandma has rubbed off on me a little bit, and she's kind of a hoarder.
Your grandmother's a hoarder?
Kind of a hoarder, so it's like I've gotten used to, like, although I don't necessarily need this thing, I'm keeping it just in case I need it later, or like if I want to use it for something else.
Oh, really? Yeah, I find that, well, I'm not a minimalist, but like I do wear the same like 5 shirts and the same pants. But that is what it is. I could go into why I do that, but that would be boring and nobody would care. So I'll instead be like, when I got to campus, I brought like 2 posters, and then of course everything I needed, like covers and stuff. And then of course it slowly comes back, and I regret it when I have to move out because it's more stuff I have to move out. But typically I'm like, yeah, I just like throwing away stuff. And then it slowly creeps back into my life because I'm a hoarder. All right. This one I think will be more universally accepted. Find a goal and presumably stick to it. So are we just like all miserable people? Because you're all just sitting there like, yeah, I guess that would make sense.
No. Yeah.
Like, what's your goal? Do you have a goal right now? Because like my goal, I have a few goals. It doesn't have to be like a life goal. We could just be like, all right, I have a goal that I'm going to just broadly lose weight.
Yeah.
And I've sort of stuck to it since quarantine started. I've lost 25 pounds. So, and I'm making progress. And it just makes me feel better knowing that I'm getting towards that goal, that's a whole different thing that we'll get to, is physical health. But
yeah. I like to think that there's sort of a short-term, mid-term, and long-term goal.
Yeah.
And the recency, or not the recency, the length of time is how much you should stick to it. So short-term goal is like days, weeks. So that's like, get caught up in my schoolwork. And that you have to stick to that. Like, there's really not much else you can do about that. You just need to do it. Mid-term goals, same sort of deal, like months. Also, for me, is like lose weight, general physical health. And that, I think you should stick to it, but you don't always have to stick to how you do it. You can adapt to how you approach it, but still keep the same goal in mind, because it's so long term. You have to account for different things. And then long term goal would be to harder to go more in depth about it, so I won't really explain it. But to create sort of a big writing thing for myself, and that is something that the concept should stick, but what exactly I do and how I approach it has a lot of room to vary.
Right.
Because you want to stick to things and be committed, but you don't want to lock yourself down in things and then be disappointed when you inevitably won't be able to do it because you had unrealistic expectations from the beginning.
Right. When I was in high school, I didn't really have any of those things. I didn't have any goals, really. It was just I go to school, I go to work, and on the weekends I see my girlfriend. Like that was my life in high school, and it was, what's the term, like listlessness, like just sort of being there. I'm not, if that's, of course, happiness is such a weird thing. Like if it works for you, it works for you. Whatever you're doing makes you happy, that's fine. I don't think we're sitting here telling you how to be happy. This is just things to get you thinking if you're unhappy. And this is not about depression. This is just about general unhappiness, which isn't necessarily a mental illness. But just sort of like if you're unhappy or uncontent with what's happening in your life, we think about these things and see what you can apply. These, for the most part, have worked for me. So this is where we're coming from, I guess. But so when I got to college, I had a few goals in mind. I was like, I'm going to make friends. Check, but that's not, at least for me, that's not something that just, okay, I have friends, I'm done, But I tried to be a minimalist, and that failed. But so what about you, Marquez? Do you have a goal that you'd like to share?
I have set goals for myself, kinda, sorta, but I haven't really stuck to them. Like I would like to fix my sleeping schedule, and Jill can attest to that. I have not fixed it. It's probably not going to get fixed.
We can fix it together.
You can try.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's going to work. Then
But this is a positive show, guys.
Well, okay, I can say that I've started getting tired earlier, but now I'm just ignoring it. I'm just not going to sleep.
Step 3.
Your positive spin.
Step 3. Good habits.
I'm not practicing.
Good habits. Okay, Marquez is not talking anymore. I always find, and this could go with goals too, I could always find hobbies. Some things that you look forward to within the week. Like every Friday we do something. Like we don't really have a schedule. We're trying to figure out that, but every Wednesday we get a bunch of friends together and we play Dungeons and Dragons, stuff like that. Good, healthy social interaction that's also something to look forward to every week, which is something that I think really helps. If you have nothing to look forward to and you're like, oh man, the only thing I'm looking forward to is when school ends. Well, that's a long way away and that's not really helping you. But if you're like, all right, every Friday I go to Lake Greenwood and take a walk, or I go. Just stuff like that, I think good habits can really help that, right? And obviously not developing bad habits like sleeping for long periods of time or drinking or smoking or anything like that. I'm not calling y'all out. I'm just... not that
you're going to call out for him for sleeping in late, and you're going to call out me for drinking and smoking.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Wow. I wake up at 11 sometimes.
You're not helping.
I know.
I only drink sometimes.
Number 4.
Just a little bit.
Oh, we're both 20. This is illegal.
I'm not 20.
I said we're both. Joe and I.
This is our show.
Oh.
Yeah. You're just here, being the negative little void.
Negative Nancy.
Yeah. Do something new is step number... Well, I'm skipping around steps. Both of you are looking, every time I name something, you just both look sadder and sadder every time.
It's because I'm just distracting myself with the cord. I just like fidgeting with stuff. I'm not.
You're gonna
I'm not
break
sad.
it one day.
I'm not. have no mics, and this will not be any show.
We'll all crowded around one mic.
Yeah.
So do something new. So I'm trying to think of the last thing I did that was new. Is I went hiking recently, and I really enjoyed it, and I want to keep doing it. Greenwood's not a great place to do that, but there are places that I'm going to look into. You're not gonna, if you're unhappy and you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, you're not going to suddenly experience happiness by doing the same thing, right? Like, and this could all go along with hobbies. Like, oh, there's a bowling league, I don't know, in my town. I'm gonna go join that. Like, I don't know, just stuff like that that can help you just gain new hobbies, gain new experiences. If you like to travel, go for it. If you can afford it, of course. Or just little things like when I was at work, every time they'd be like, hey, who wants to do this? And I'd never done it before. I'd be like, all right, me, I'm doing it. I want to experience something new. Even if it was just, stacking boxes or cleaning the bathroom, like or riveting. Or hey, go direct traffic. I don't know, like just something new.
In Publix, they were like, "Hey, could you go direct traffic? We just need your help, man."
No, I was thinking of Chick-fil-A, even though I never worked there. But
or
it was more stressful. But when I was in high school, of course, I was miserable. I'm not going to go into that, but I was not happy, and I worked at Publix, and I was like, you know what? I want to do something new, but I also want the financial stability of having a well-paying job like Publix. So I got another job. This is not I was pretty good academically in high school, so that I could do this. But of course, if you're not, that's probably not a great thing to do. So I got another job at the mall. It ended up not working out, but it was fun, and I got to experience something new and do something new. I got to stock CDs. I got to do the pitch membership programs no one wanted. Like, it was just a new experience, especially in high school. If you're younger like us, and you don't have kids, you don't have a family, you don't have a mortgage. You can do stuff like that. You can be like, you know what? I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to work at the mall for how long was I there? Like 7 months. All right.
Were we supposed to add on to that?
Well, what do you guys think? Like, what was the last new thing you did?
Well, doing something new is probably the thing that you've listed so far that I have the hardest time with. Is I'm very good at getting myself into routines of sort of uninteresting things. Not even necessarily bad things, but just things that don't add any new experiences.
Okay.
That's probably the thing I struggle the most with so far.
I'll say like the newest thing I have done is, participating on the radio show.
All right. And that's what we're here to do, folks. If you are just devoid of, feel like you're not living the way you want to live, just pop on in. Wednesday at 3 o'clock, just walk in. We only have 2 mics, but we can make it work. Honestly, I mean, why not? Like,
if someone just walked in, would you be like, all right, you're here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if I liked them. If I didn't like them, they'd probably not be welcome. I don't know. I mean, if you feel like you want to just walk in and just start talking, go for it.
They're getting voted off the radio show.
Just don't get us in trouble by saying bad things. So I actually went on. We're definitely not going to get through this list, but
yes,
there were just some. I posted on Instagram. I said 3 questions, which you guys, neither of you responded to.
I didn't know that you posted any questions.
I saw them
several days ago.
I didn't register them.
Okay, so I asked the audience, what is a hobby that makes you happy? What is something you're grateful for? And that's another thing on the list we'll sort of get to is gratitude. And then what makes you happy, just broader. So just a few ones that I thought were interesting. I got a lot of painting. Someone said my sister does scrapbooking, like she makes scrapbooks. Cooking, which I've started to do more. I mean, not like nothing insane, but I do enjoy it when I do it. Fishing. Boy Wes. The Walking Dead. I'm assuming he means watching TV. My uncle does. Do you know what Spartan races are?
No, but that sounds amazing.
They're basically like these super high endurance, like marathons that you have to do stuff on. Like, all right, now you have to grab this log and run another mile. Like, he does that.
That's
nice. Insane. Reading and writing, knitting was one that I thought was interesting, which I have tried and it's fun. That's not my thing, but it's interesting. So what is a hobby that you guys do that makes you happy? And don't say video games, because that's the lame answer. Because I could told you that.
Video games do not make me happy.
Only in certain contexts am I happy with them.
I mean, writing, as sparingly as I do it, when I do actually make myself do it and I complete something, it's very satisfying. Cooking as well, same sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I cook in minor ways pretty frequently, but if I like actually do what I did earlier a few days ago, I made a nice white chicken chili that was very good, and I was very happy with that.
Marquez, what is a hobby you do that makes you happy?
What? Okay, so when I did do it, I enjoy.
That's a great way to start off.
No,
you guys suck.
No, listen, I can't do it now because my bike is broke. Okay.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I like to go when I learn how to ride a bike. I like going biking. It's really relaxing and stuff.
Cool.
Just going biking by myself. And I don't think going to the gym would be considered a hobby.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah, totally. No, totally. I know a lot of people consider going.
Yeah.
Does it make you happy?
Yeah, it makes me really
Let's
happy.
say it.
Yeah, going to the gym makes me extremely happy.
All right.
And hurt a lot, but I like it.
All right.
Hey.
What I asked also just broadly what makes you happy, not necessarily an action, just things that make you happy. We got stuff like dancing, family, talking to friends, catching a big old fish.
To Wesley.
Was that from the same
My boy
person?
Wes. Shout out to Wes. Manual College. Big old fish. Making others happy. Bob Dylan. Just, I guess, his music, not...
Just as a person.
Just as a person makes you happy. Traveling. Traveling's always fun. One that I thought was very interesting was the idea of tomorrow. So, I guess that's the goal, right? Is if you're unhappy, but you still are like, you know what, today sucks, but tomorrow can and will be better. I guess that's the ultimate goal. I'm jealous. No kidding. I don't know. I mean, I guess, but that's just one that struck me. And then I asked, what are you grateful for? Which I guess is another sort of key that works into this, is if you're sitting around complaining about everything, but you don't recognize that, hey, you know, we're in college. That's something that some people aren't able to do. Or I'm not projecting on you guys.
No,
but
no.
You guys need to be grateful. But stuff like that. I mean, I feel like, so I got answers like, of course, I got a lot of family, friends. I have everything I need during the pandemic, which a lot of people don't have. My dog. I have a house. Being back on campus. Someone said specifically me. Me and my family. And then
like me as in like they said me, or they me as in they said you?
Me. Like they're grateful.
not-
They are grateful for Thomas.
Okay, they are grateful for Thomas.
Nice.
And then someone said nothing. Which is thank you for literally just shattering everything I just said and making everything I just said invalid. But yeah, so what are you grateful for, Marquez?
Well, I'm gonna give like the.
If you say nothing, I will come over there and actually murder you.
No, I was gonna give like the typical answer, like, you know, friends and family.
Uh-huh.
Like my friends, they are my family. So.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, just being alive. You know.
Joe,
I'm fidgeting.
what are you grateful for?
Tell us.
I am grateful for. Oh my gosh! Stop staring at me. I'm trying to think of like more niche things. As silly as it might sound, I'm grateful for the internet. I'm
Okay.
grateful for the fact that not only do I have, you know, friends and family, but I also have like ways to communicate with them and ways, you know, systems of being with people, even despite challenging times. You know, having to go different places and do different things and all that kind of stuff. I'm grateful for opportunity. I think that what most people will tell you the hardest part about being a college student is that there's so many good and bad things that you get the option to do, that even if you don't take them, or even if you take different ones and less favorable ones and whatever, you always have the option to do almost anything that you can think of realistically. So even if I, you know, wake up and there's nothing I can think to do and I just, you know, do the same thing and don't do anything new, don't do anything interesting, there's still lots of options, and there's always a reason to think that there's something else that I could do.
Yeah.
So
That's an amazing answer, actually. I'm floored by that one. Yeah, that's sort of why I chose Lander specifically, was I went on this tour and I was like, oh, well, these are things that I could do. I wouldn't have even thought that I wanted a radio show or just an outlet to just hang out with friends and say stupid stuff and be a social media director for my own horrible, disfigured amalgamation of a creation. But I do. The weird thing is, when I went to college, I was like, all right, what do I want out of college? Well, I want friends. I want experiences. Specifically, for some reason, I wanted friends to play Dungeons & Dragons with, because I had only played it once and it was a weird experience. And I was like, I know it can be better, so I want friends who can do that with. And that was like a new hobby that I was excited about. That hasn't happened yet, but we're working on it. Well, no, I mean, like, it's an opportunity that can happen. So it's just the opportunity to do new things, which is something that a lot of people don't have. And that's not what gratitude isn't, oh, I have this, but other people don't. But it's I am grateful that I have stuff like this, and that I'm like, oh, here's what's going to happen next semester, and I can change it up, and I can do different things, and I'm excited for next semester. Wow. And they were roommates.
Pipes on that one.
Maybe I have it too turned up, I don't know. But yeah, so that's just a few things where we're not trying to get all gross and sappy on you guys. We would never do such a thing. We actually despise you. But I don't know, I just had to bring it back. This is off brand for us. We're too serious. We're too
Yeah, well, I mean,
too happy.
I said like the first genuinely positive thing in like 5 weeks.
I know, we're too we're too serious and not shut no. But I'm grateful that person's alive, so we can
filter. There we go.
Now just Marquez you just can't hear.
Yeah,
him.
no.
I'm not gonna do it.
What were you gonna do? I'm very curious.
I'm not gonna scream into the mic.
Okay. Thanks, I guess. Well, actually, we are about to run out of time. I'm sorry, I was a little late today. I had to take a test. But is there any other things you guys wanted to briefly say, or what are you thankful for, or what makes you happy, or something that you think might make you happy, so you want to try it?
Well, one of the things I was thinking about was I had mentioned this to you guys before, but when we did the mascot episode, that inspired me to have an idea for creating my own radio show. And it's something that I've been pretty much wavering back and forth on since I came here. But since before I came here, the first time I knew that creating a radio show was a thing that I could do was something that I've been wavering back and forth on doing, but I've never done it. Mm-hmm. But the opportunity that I have to do it is always here. And every day I wake up, it's still something that I can do.
Right.
And more than ever, I have a big motivation to do it because I have an idea because of that, which would be kind of game show-esque. Mm-hmm. And also because of Jackson, because he really was always encouraging me to do one. So now I feel like, this would be a really good opportunity and time to make that happen.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, this is why I think having a social, especially if you're doing creative stuff, which I don't consider myself a super creative individual. That's not what my major is. That's not what I'm going to do. But the thing about creativity and the thing about just doing stuff like this is that it's better. It's awesome to have people around you, and that's why it's important to have people around you who inspire you and who have common things about each other. Like, we think similar things are funny, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because we inspired you to possibly get your own show, and you inspired me to have a topic for next episode, which is we're literally, here's exactly what's going to happen next episode, Wednesday at 3 o'clock, is we're literally just going to spend the whole 45 minutes convincing Joe to get his own show and what it would be about.
All right.
Which I think could actually be pretty funny. But also, just one more thing on Jackson. We actually, and I'm not trying to self-plug, but if you want, if you want an idea of if you never listened to his show, Shrimp Arugula Friday, if you want an idea of what he was like, what his humor was like, how he sounded, anything like that, on the YouTube channel, the Smiling Rainbow Unicorn of Doom YouTube channel, the Summer Podcast, episode 2 and 3, he's in both of those. So episode 3 was such a weird experience. We spent about 3 hours recording an episode that ended up being about 30 minutes long. That's just kind of the person he was. He was very...
he was very talkative.
Yes.
Well, not even just talkative. He loved doing this, and he loved helping me do it, which turned into 3 hours of footage that I could not use. Yeah. But it was funny, and if you want an idea of who Jackson was and how he was and how we interacted with him, episode 2 and 3 of that podcast. We'll leave you out here with a song that I'm not sure we can play legally because it has bad words in it, but thank you guys so much for tuning into this Myelogram Unicorn of Doom. Hopefully we made you smile today, and if not, my name's Joe. I'm Joe. I'm Thomas.
I'm Marquez.
I'm Joe.
We're the Myelogram Unicorn of Doom. Thank you guys so much for coming, and come back next week, Wednesday at 3. You guys are awesome. You should stay awesome. Peace.